we thought it was really important. One of the first things we're always asked is, what do you think the value of our agency is, in the marketplace? So we always felt that, it would be really important to make sure that the clients know what the actual value of their business is in the marketplace. The problem that most agency owners face is they're insurance people. They're not finance people. They don't have relationships in the marketplace. So we do. That's what we do for a living. We have relationships in the marketplace. We were buyers ourselves. So we just felt that by offering this free valuation, it was a true service to our clients or potential clients. The other thing I think it did, we felt that it would do, is allow these clients or potential clients to get to know us a little more and understand how we work and find out how in depth we go when we actually do these valuations. We're not just writing the valuation down on a piece of napkin at a meeting somewhere and guessing. We actually go in and value the agency based on really 9 indicators of value. I mean, there's a whole slew out there on our website that talks about each of the areas that we take a look at when we're valuing an agency. It's not just the financials. It also gives us a sense of, the last thing it does, I think, is it identifies the goals and objectives of our clients. I think what happens through this process is they tell us, they give us information, they tell us what they're looking for in a partner, and it allows us to go back into our pool of knowledge about all the buyers that are out there in the marketplace and start thinking about who would be a great partner for them ultimately. Because normally when these clients or potential clients come to us, it's in the intermediate stage. They haven't made a decision on what they want to do at this point. So to actually sit here and throw values at them and take them through a process, it's almost disingenuous until we figure out what the value of their agency is, because we don't want to get 50,000 miles down the road and find out that it's not something that they'd be interested in value. The last thing that I want to talk about when we were talking about when it came to giving this free valuation is, once we did the valuation, there were glaring issues in some of the agencies that we believe we could fix and actually improve their bottom line. If they would hire us and take them out to market, we believe that there was opportunities and ways to improve their bottom line margins by just doing small things. Just being able to understand how the buying market looks at things, or how what's important to the buyers out there, and knowing markets and understanding the insurance side of the business. One of the values that we offer is actually we operated a $100 million insurance agency. So we have a real quick knowledge of what goes on in an insurance agency and what should go on and how to improve margins. So I think all those things combined are the reason that we believed that we thought that this free valuation would bring in several potential clients, or just people that were interested in understanding the value of their business. I think the first reason is they're not really sure it's free. A lot of people want to talk about it, or they look at it and they say, is this real? Part of that reason is because all of our competition's out there charging, somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 to do this valuation. And to be honest with you, I think ours is a lot more comprehensive than theirs. At the end of the day, that's at least what I've been told by the people that actually hire us. So they're actually paying for this valuation, between $8,000 and $10,000 for this valuation, and it isn't comprehensive. It's a shame because maybe they just don't believe us when we say it's free. So that's the first reason. The second reason is they may think we're looking to sell them something else. Now, while obviously we're in the business of getting clients, that's for sure. I'm not trying to hide that fact, but this is no pressure. I mean, just because we actually did the valuation doesn't mean you have to sell your agency right now. Generally, what happens is, that happens 4 to 6 months afterwards, especially in the clients that hire us, because there's lots of other goals and objectives that they're trying to achieve, and maybe some homework we actually give them, in the process of taking a real hard look at some areas of the business. So I think a lot of people think that once we get to the value, that value is inflated, because we're really interested in getting them as a client. So we give them this inflated value, so that it'll excite them. And at the end of the day, they're not really getting that value out of it. Well, in actuality, the truth is we're very conservative when it comes to value. I mean, we look at things very conservatively because we never want to overestimate value to our clients, because we only want to make sure we can deliver on what we tell people we can deliver. So it's never a good idea to overestimate these things, regardless of the outcome. Now, that may cause us to lose to our competition in cases, because they do that. They actually go out there and inflate the value just so that it can get the client. But we're really not interested in operating our business in that manner. Our goal, obviously, is to achieve our clients' goals. And if we're inflating the goals to begin with, they're only going to be disappointed in the end. So I think that's one of the major reasons. I think the last thing is that maybe because it's free, they don't think it's valuable out there in the marketplace, and buyers won't actually accept it. And one of the interesting things is that many of the buyers actually accept our pro formas that we send to them on face value and make offers on our pro formas. They don't do their own, because they've worked with us in the past and they realize it's a waste of their time, because, we understand how they develop their pro formas. We've worked with just about every buyer in the marketplace, and they believe our pro formas when we send them to them, because they know that we've run insurance agencies before, and it's going to be hard to argue with us. So I think that's a very strong reason. We value agencies no matter what the size. We value $100 million agencies. So, that free valuation extends to all sizes of agencies. The problem is that, the question comes up all the time is whether you have an agency or a book of business. And the book of business is something that we don't value, because we don't get involved in that process, because it's not something that the buyers are very interested in buying. We'll look at an agency with potential clients think is an agency, and basically what they really have is a book of business. At that point, we explain that to them. And, not that we don't help them, we still help them, but it's not something that we can get involved in an in-depth way. So the other thing is, from a valuation standpoint, our valuations have held up. Even when you look at it compared to our competitors, one of our clients that we were actually representing went out and got a valuation from one of our competitors. And that valuation that they got, and by the way, paid $10,000 for, that valuation was within $60,000 of our valuation. So I'm still not sure why they did it, and still can't really wrap my arms around something like that. But I thought it was very interesting to see that they actually went out and got a valuation from someone else, paid for it, and we were within 60 grand of that valuation. Someone should know the value of their agency no matter what their goals are. I think, you should always be running your insurance agency like you're going to sell it tomorrow, because that may be something that has to happen, because you never know what's going to happen, what's going to happen in the world to make that change. So you should always look at your agency and run it like you're going to sell it. You should know what effect each of the decisions that you make have on the bottom line of your agency. A lot of our clients come to us and want us to value an agency right after they just hired somebody that owns a book of business. And then they want to include that in the sale. And we say, well, you don't really own that. So it's difficult, once you've made the decision, for us to sit back and help you through the process. It'd be really nice, right, if you had a value on your agency and had a relationship with someone like us. And when you were going to bring in that person that has that book of business, you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm thinking about making this decision. How will it affect me if I'm going to sell my business in a year or maybe two? And by the way, Joe Smith agency up the street's looking to sell their business. Does it make sense for us to actually look at that and bring that one in, as far as, does it help our value? Does it hurt our value? Those kind of decisions, whether to hire producers, those kind of things are decisions that agencies make on a daily basis, that understanding how it affects your value in the future sometimes is not even considered in the decision making. So we're brought into the process at the very time that they're ready to sell it, and they've made several decisions that affect their value and in a very short period of time. And to me, if I were an agency owner, I'd want to know at any given time what the value of my agency is. And I'd also want to know how it affects my value each time I make those decisions. So it helps, so when in the process, immediately I want to know what my value is. And at every step in the process, I'd want to know how it affected my value, and the decisions that I make affect my value. Because for most of our clients, it's the biggest asset they're ever going to have. And ultimately, their retirement and the way they get their equity out of all the sweat equity that they've put into this business. It's the way they get their financial equity out of the business. And I think by not understanding the value, they've actually hurt the financial equity of their business. And I think if they really want to get the value out of the sweat equity, they'll know their value all the way along in the process. Agencies get that call, right? They feel like it's almost necessary to get back to that party immediately. And it's not an immediate response necessary. There's no immediate response necessary. And most of the time, a lot of these buyers are out there trying to get these clients to make an immediate decision. The reason is because that allows them not to get someone like us involved. And that's what the buyers are out there trying to avoid. They don't want us involved. I've been told that by many buyers. They don't want us involved, because if we get involved, they know what's going to happen. We're going to represent our client in a way to make sure that they get every bit of the value that they deserve for all the sweat equity that they put into it. And they understand that, so they know, and there's statistics out there that many of these buyers put out. They say that they can get agencies for 30% less when they're not represented. So why wouldn't they want to make those calls and try and force somebody to make a decision very quickly, right? They'll even say on a lot of these phone calls, a lot of our clients tell us, they'll say, they told us not to hire somebody like you. And I said, I understand that. It makes a whole lot of sense to me. I was on the buying side, right? I understand what changes in those values when they have somebody like me on the other end. Relationship with the buyer is extremely important. If the buyer feels that we're not just out there to get the highest price in the marketplace, and we offer other value like helping the process along instead of putting up roadblocks every time the buyer has an issue. Um, Solving problems is probably the most important thing we do in the process, and getting over hurdles of making sure that the change that's going to happen when an agency sells their business is palatable not only to the owners but to the employees, to the new organization, because many of these transactions have a earnout provision. We don't want our clients spending a whole lot of time trying to merge into an entity after the fact, and then you spend 6 to 10 months after the fact and have a 2-year earnout. You've just wasted 6 to 10 months worth of time you could have been spending, getting new clients, bringing in agencies, and getting value out of your earnout portion of your transaction. That's what we bring to the table. What we're hoping and what we help buyers do is to do all the work up front to allow an agency to hit the ground running right after the closing. That's the goal. The goal is the sooner that our clients can hit the ground running and to begin to grow their business and begin to merge into the new buyer, the sooner that happens, the better opportunity they have to make their earnouts. And the good news for us is that 86% of our clients have hit their maximum earnout. 86%. That's a very high rate of our clients that hit the maximum earnout. And I think part of that reason is, and our clients are really focused when they after the closing. They know what their roles are. They know what they're going to do. They know how to grow the business. They understand the transaction and the effect that they can have not only on their current clients, but what are some of the new opportunities that are going to be out there for them once they get with a new buyer. And I define commitment in a very specific way. And I use the bacon and egg breakfast as an example of commitment. We believe our competition is like the chicken in that bacon and egg breakfast. We believe they're involved in the process. We believe we're the pig in that bacon and egg breakfast because the pig is committed to get that bacon made. So we believe we're truly committed, and I think that's our differentiation, just how much effort we put in on behalf of our clients. And many of them have told us that at the end of the process, when they can actually see our value, have told us that they weren't sure what that commitment was up front, but they sure are committed. They understand what it is at the end of the process after the deal closes. I think it's the same thing on their part. I think they need to be committed to the process. The process is what the formal process that we go through is something that while it's interesting and they learn a lot about their business, and they also learn a lot about what's going on in the marketplace because they meet with several buyers. What they really are doing is sort of going out and showcasing their operation. So while it's an interesting process, it's a very committed process. It's hard work. It takes a lot to get through the process. The process itself takes, it takes from beginning to end about 6 to 8 months. It also, I think they see the value in the process at the end. The reason it takes 6 to 8 months is because it's not something that you could do very quickly and do it well. I think many people say to me all the time, when's it time to sell? I said, that's a question that only our clients can answer. When they're ready, and I mean ready, that's the time to sell, because that's when they seem to be most committed. It's not always about price, and it's not always about, um, about doing something quickly. What we want to do is make sure we do it efficiently, we do it properly, and we get the most value for the agency that we possibly can get. But the most important thing, in order to get that value, you need to find the right partner. And I think finding the right partner and the right buyer is key. It's also key to why most of our clients make that 86% of their maximum earnout, because they're with the right partner.